A man outside Coventry bought a brand new family hatchback in 2022, £32,000 on PCP, £380 a month. He was sold on the safety tech, the touchscreen, the heated seats, the lane assist that gently steered him back into his lane on the motorway. 18 months later, a stone hit his windscreen on the F45, small chip bottom left corner. He called his insurer expecting the usual story. Under £100, mobile repair, job done in an hour on the driveway. The quote came back at £940, because the windscreen on his car housed a forward-facing camera for the lane assist and the autonomous emergency braking. The glass itself was £480. The mandatory recalibration of the safety camera in a specialist workshop with a perfectly level floor and manufacturer-approved diagnostic equipment was another £380. His excess covered the first £150. His no-claims history absorbed the hit. His premium at renewal went up £40 a month. He did not crash, he did not drive carelessly. A stone hit his windscreen. On a car built before 2015, that repair cost £60. That is not bad luck. That is the business model. Today we are covering something the car industry does not want you to work out for yourself. British drivers are walking away from new cars in numbers not seen in decades. The average age of a car on UK roads hit a record high of nearly 10 years at the end of 2024, according to the RAC Foundation. 8.2 million cars over 13 years old are currently licensed in Britain. That is nearly double the share compared to a decade ago. The people keeping those cars are not skint, undecided, or technophobic. The smart ones did the maths, and the maths does not flatter the showroom. Here is the first thing you need to understand. Buying a new car in Britain in 2026 is not just an expensive decision, it is a systematically expensive decision, where every single layer of the ownership experience has been restructured to extract more money from you than the generation before you ever paid. Start with the sticker price. The average new car sold in the UK now costs over £30,000. That is not a luxury car. That is the average. A new Ford Puma, a new Vauxhall Corsa, a new Nissan Qashqai, all north of £25,000. In 2010, the equivalent family hatchback cost £16,000. Inflation does not account for that gap. The technology specification does, and critically, that technology was not added to make your life better. It was added to justify a price point that funds the research and development pipeline for the next model cycle. You're paying for it, whether you use it or not. Then there is depreciation. The moment you drive a new car off the forecourt, it becomes used. In the first year alone, the average new car loses between 15 and 25% of its purchase price. By year 3, it has lost 50 to 60%. On a £30,000 car, that is £18,000 evaporated in 36 months. The AA describes depreciation as the single biggest cost of car ownership for many drivers, bigger than fuel. Nobody mentions it when they hand you the keys. The salesperson who spent 40 minutes showing you how the sunroof works said nothing about what the car would be worth in 36 months. That silence is intentional. Then there is the finance. 80 to 90% of new cars in the UK are bought on PCP agreements. The monthly payment feels manageable. The total cost is something else entirely. A typical PCP on a £30,000 car runs to roughly £380 a month over 4 years. That is £18,240 in payments, plus a balloon payment of £12,000 to £15,000 to actually own the car at the end. If you walk away instead, you own nothing. You have paid £18,000 to borrow a depreciating asset for 4 years and hand it back. The dealership celebrates this as flexibility. It is not flexibility. It is a trap with a very comfortable seat. And that is before the car breaks. Before I go further, I want to be clear about how this video was built, because a lot of content about cars is built around affiliate deals and manufacturer relationships that are, to be polite about it, compromised. This video is built on 4 sources: RA, C and AA long-term ownership cost data for UK drivers, real depreciation figures from CAP HPI, motorway and auto hits, 2026 depreciation report, insurance and repair industry data from the Association of British Insurers and the claims analysis firm Auto Claims Assist, covering over 31,000 non-fault cases from 2019 to 2025, and the growing body of evidence from UK motoring journalists, independent engineers, and the Warranty-Wise Reliability Index tracking actual fault rates on older vehicles. No manufacturer supplied material for this video. Several of them would probably prefer I was discussing their latest infotainment system. That is how you know we are on the right track. To understand why the old car movement is happening now, you need to understand what changed. In 1995, a new car was a mechanical device with some electrical components. It had an engine, a gearbox, a suspension, a steering column. When something broke, a competent independent mechanic with standard tools could diagnose it, source a part and fix it. The parts were widely available, non-proprietary, and priced by competition. A local garage could service your car for £200 a year and keep it running for 2 decades. Your dad's Volvo 740 from 1989 is evidence. That car was built to be understood, to be opened up, looked at, reasoned with. Then 2 things happened simultaneously and changed everything. The first was the rise of advanced driver assistance systems. A DAS technology, the cameras, radar units, ultrasonic sensors and LiDAR embedded in your windscreen, your bumpers, your wing mirrors and your badge, became mandatory standard equipment across the new car market over roughly the last decade. These systems are genuinely impressive at preventing accidents, and they are genuinely catastrophic to repair. A bumper on a car from 2008 is a piece of plastic. It costs £300 to replace, and any body shop can do it in an afternoon. A bumper on a new family car in 2026 is a sophisticated sensor hub housing, radar units for adaptive cruise control, ultrasonic sensors for parking, and sometimes cameras for blind spot monitoring. A low-speed car park knock that once cost £300 now costs over £1,500 because the sensors need replacing and then meticulously recalibrating to millimetre precision in a specialist workshop. The Association of British Insurers estimates that ADAS repair complexity is adding an estimated £300 million annually to the UK's vehicle repair bill. That cost does not stay with the insurer. It finds you at renewal. The second was the subscription and software model. Manufacturers looked at what Apple and Netflix had built, recurring revenue from existing customers, and decided cars should work the same way. BMW, Mercedes, and other manufacturers began gating features that already exist in the hardware behind software paywalls. The heated seats are in the car, the software that activates them costs extra per month. Firmware updates can add features and they can remove them. The car you buy is not fully the car you own, because the manufacturer retains control of the software layer. That is new. Your grandmother's Cortina did not phone home, it did not require a Wi-Fi connection, and nobody could remotely disable the heater, because you had not paid the subscription fee for warmth. Here is what the numbers actually look like when you run them honestly. Take a British driver buying a new Volkswagen Golf, a perfectly reasonable mid-market family car. List price in 2026, approximately £32,000. Conservative depreciation of 55% over 5 years puts the loss at £17,600. Finance at current PCP rates adds roughly £4,500 in interest over the term. Insurance on a new Golf averages around £800 a year for a driver in their mid-30s, so £4,000 over 5 years. Annual servicing at a franchise dealer runs to around £450 per year, because of manufacturer-specified intervals and manufacturer-approved parts since the warranty requires it. That is £2,250 over 5 years, and that figure assumes nothing goes wrong. No ADAS sensor failure, no control module fault, no stone chip that requires a camera recalibration, nothing. Total 5-year cost of running a new Golf before fuel, road tax, or a single unexpected repair is approximately £28,350. Now run the same calculation on a 2014 Golf with a full service history, bought to for £8,500. No meaningful depreciation. A 12-year-old Golf does not have much left to lose. No finance. Insurance on a used Golf of that age averages around £550 per year, so £2,750 over 5 years. Servicing at an independent garage runs to around £250 a year, 2/3 less than the franchise dealer because the warranty does not mandate it. That is £1,250 over 5 years. Budget a further £2,000 for unexpected repairs over 5 years, and you are still being conservative. Total 5-year cost approximately £14,500 against the new car's £28,350. You are nearly £14,000 ahead. That is a kitchen renovation. That is school fees for a year. That is the kind of money that changes what the rest of your life looks like. The monthly payment is not the cost of the car. The monthly payment plus the depreciation curve plus the insurance premium plus the repair complexity plus the finance interest plus the software subscriptions is the cost of the car. Nobody puts that number on the window sticker. Drop a comment right now. What year is your car and what is the most expensive thing that has gone wrong with it? My guess is that a significant number of you are going to say it was something electrical. And my second guess is that a notable number of you are going to say it happened on a car less than 5 years old that the dealer assured you was covered, it was not covered, or the excess made it academic. That is not a coincidence. That is the system working exactly as designed. Now, the car smart British drivers are actually going back to, and I am going to be precise about why each one works, because this is not nostalgia. This is arithmetic. The sweet spot that independent engineers and financially literate drivers have landed on is petrol or diesel cars from 2005 to 2015, old enough that the parts are cheap, plentiful and non-proprietary, young enough that they are mechanically sound, fuel efficient relative to their era, and that they carry the safety improvements of that generation without the repair complexity nightmare of ADAS-loaded modern vehicles. Toyota from this era leads every honest conversation about reliability. The Toyota Yaris, Auris and Corolla from 2006 to 2015 are the cars that independent mechanics describe as a business problem, because they do not come in often enough to keep the lifts busy. The 1.0 and 1.33 petrol engines in these cars are straightforward, non-turbocharged, non-direct injected, and mechanically uncomplicated. There is no walnut blasting service needed at 70,000 miles because direct injection never coated the intake valves in carbon in the first place. Parts are cheap and available from multiple suppliers. The Warranty-Wise Reliability Index consistently places Toyota at or near the top of long-term reliability rankings across vehicles aged 8 to 12 years. The 2010 Toyota Yaris can be bought in good condition for under £4,000. Annual servicing costs under £250. The last thing it is going to do is require a £1,700 windscreen recalibration because a lorry shed grit on the M6 is going to start every morning, use almost no fuel, and ask almost nothing of you in return. The Honda Jazz from the same period is the other car that mechanics mention in the same breath. The 1.2 and 1.4 petrol engines are robust in the most literal sense. They were engineered with conservative tolerances and designed to be serviced by humans with normal tools, not by manufacturer-certified technicians with proprietary diagnostic laptops. The unique folding rear seat system, what Honda calls magic seats, makes it genuinely more practical than its compact dimensions suggest. A 2010 Honda Jazz with a documented service history is available in the UK for between £3,500 and £6,000. It will cost you £230 a year to service and virtually nothing to insure relative to anything new. And critically, when it does eventually need a repair, an independent Honda specialist will charge you £70 an hour rather than the £145 the franchise dealer prints on their rate card. The Mazda 3 from 2009 to 2014 earns its place for one specific reason. The Skyactiv engine that appeared in the later models is one of the most fuel-efficient naturally aspirated petrol engines ever built at this price point. And it is mechanically simple in a way that the turbocharged direct injection engines on modern cars are not. Walnut blasting, carbon build-up, stretched timing chains, these are the repair bills that direct injection technology generates in its second decade of life. The Mazda Skyactiv avoids all of it by using a high-compression, naturally aspirated design that is both cleaner and simpler. Good examples from 2012 onwards are available for £5,000 to £8,000. They're exceptional value as used purchases precisely because they depreciated quickly in their early years and have now stopped. The Ford Focus from 2011 to 2018 is the pragmatic choice for anyone who needs the parts supply argument above everything else. There are more Focuses on UK roads than almost any other model. Every independent garage has seen hundreds of them. Every parts supplier holds the full catalogue. When your rear wheel bearing goes at 95,000 miles, and it will, the part costs £40 and the labour will take an hour. The 1.0 EcoBoost engine, for all the hype about it, is more reliable in practice than its turbocharged specification might suggest, provided it has been serviced regularly and the coolant has been changed on schedule. Buy one with full service history, check the Campbell status, and you have a car that will cost you almost nothing to run for years. 3 rules, write them down. First, before you consider any car, new or used, run the total 5-year cost. Or, not the monthly payment, the total. Add up the depreciation, the finance interest, the insurance average for that model at your age, the servicing cost at an independent garage, and a conservative estimate for repairs based on the model's reliability data from Warranty-Wise or Which. Then compare that number to a well-chosen used car of 10 years old. The outcome of that calculation will surprise you every single time. Second, before you buy any used car, check its ADAS specification. A car from 2016 can have almost as much sensor technology as a car from 2023, depending on the specification. The presence of lane assist, autonomous emergency braking, or adaptive cruise control is not a feature when you are buying used. It is a liability, because when those sensors fail outside warranty, and they will fail, the calibration cost is identical to a new car. The sweet spot for uncomplicated ownership is cars specified before ADAS became standard. Check the manufacturer's feature list for the specific model year you're considering before you hand over a deposit. Third, when a mechanic tells you a repair is uneconomical on your current car, get a second opinion and ask specifically what the part costs versus what the labour costs. The repair economy on older cars is often dramatically more favourable than the mechanic's standard quote suggests, because independent specialists in specific makes charge half what a generalist garage does for the same job. There are Toyota specialists, Honda specialists, and Ford specialists across every major UK city. Find them before you need them. Having the right specialist's number in your phone before the car breaks is worth more than any extended warranty you ever bought at the dealership. Every year, British drivers hand approximately £32,000 to a dealership. Drive away in a depreciating asset loaded with sensors they cannot afford to repair, financed at a rate that means they will never truly own it at the current payment schedule, insured by a premium that has risen 15% in a single year because the industry's repair costs are through the roof. And at year 4, when the PCP ends and the balloon payment arrives and the car is worth 40% of what they paid, the dealership will gently suggest they roll the negative equity into a new agreement and start again. Most people do. By then the monthly payment has become part of the budget. It feels like a utility bill. That is the goal. That is what they designed. That is not a transaction. That is a subscription to somebody else's revenue model. The people going back to old Cars are not going backwards. They are stepping off a treadmill that was designed to keep them running and never let them arrive. A clean, well-maintained 10-year-old Toyota does not make the manufacturer any money. It does not make the finance company any money. It does not make the extended warranty provider any money. It does not generate a software subscription or a calibration invoice. It just gets you where you are going for a fraction of the cost for as long as you maintain it. That is not bad luck for the industry. That is their business model working against you. And now you know it. If this video changed how you think about your next car, subscribe now and share it with anyone who is standing in a showroom right now, wondering whether the monthly payment is worth it. It is not, that is all.